All right. Test.
Test.
Test. Test.
We're millionaires, boys. I'll share it with all of you. Why, in a few months it'll be up in lights on Broadway. Kong, the eighth wonder of the world!
Wild, weird, wonderful. The stuff for which movies were made. Adventure to make you wonder if it's true, while your eyes convince you that it is. Truly, the thrill of thrills. Don't miss it this time.
And welcome back to Convincing Idiots. You might not recognize me. I'm Millennial Nick. I'm here with my bro host, Gen X Brian, Zennial Dean. We are celebrating our last installment of spooky season content. That's right. So if you're listening to this on the day that it was released, you should be looking at your calendar and seeing that, oh my goodness, it is the spookiest day of all, the whole dang year. It is Halloween. October 31st. So, to commemorate this wonderful day, we've talked about ghosts, we've talked about slashers and killers and vampires and all the spooky, scary things. Goblins, ghouls. Kanye West. Dean has been here for all of it. And now we will discuss. I'm going to put on my spooky voice. Today we are discussing some of our favorite, we'll call this the other category, right? Maybe like non-human, scary, creepy, cool, inventive, whatever you want. Characters, properties, movies, anything in pop culture. Anything goes. So anything that is not human, we'll say. So, Brian?
My number one's Nick.
I'd like to start with you. What is you have any? What's something that you find to be frightening, scary, non-human?
One of my favorite non-human themed scary movies is non-human. Anyways, you know what I'm saying. Mentioned this on several episodes already, but one of the best of all time sci-fi, The Thing. John Carpenter's The Thing. Again, if for some reason out there you've not seen this movie, go check this out. It still holds up very well. Went to the theater over the summer and saw the 40th anniversary of it. Still holds up very well. It's just great. Kurt Russell, whatever. So it's just it's an alien being, as we know, that absorbs into another living being. So great horror. It's like I said, if you've seen the movie, I don't need to recap it here, but just one of the best movies of all time, in my opinion. But certainly one of the best sci-fi movies ever is The Thing. Go ahead, Dean.
Yeah, because when it comes down to it, you have from The Thing to Tombstone to goddamn Santa Claus. Is there anybody cooler than Kurt Russell?
No,
that's right. Yeah, he was great in that movie.
Herb Brooks in Miracle, great performance, fantastic.
Yep.
There you go.
That's what I guess. One of the best characters is the Alien, The Thing, and one of the best movies, The Thing.
Can I also just say, I really want to hang out with his son. I just want to kick it with Wyatt Russell. He just seems like the coolest, nicest fucking guy.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yep.
And Kurt
He'll
could
be
be
back
there
at-
too. Maybe like a
He'll
father
be
son
back in the
hangout.
Marvel Universe as well. Yep.
Kurt can
All right. Let me jump in here, guys, and
ahead.
I want to go to
No.
the grandfather, the OG of what back then was horror. You know, he is the man, the king of all monsters. He is Godzilla.
Mm.
The
Very
character has been going since 1954 and still going strong today. In different iterations, whether it be goofy or serious or even sharing a fucking screen with Matthew Broderick. Not all of them are going to be good, people.
Yeah.
But Godzilla is on my list of our monsters Inc. here. So
Nice. And
I
the
probably
king-
can't
the
say
king-
that's
The King of
copyrighted.
Why? I know you like Godzilla. So you've always been a Godzilla fan. What is it about Godzilla that is appealing to you, Jim?
Okay. It is, well, if you want to go like on the original, it's the aspect of we created this monster as human beings because it was based on that nuclear bomb that was dropped in Hiroshima.
Mhm.
The remnants of it got onto this lizard, and we made our own monster inadvertently, and so it's pretty much a tale that we have to live with the consequences of our actions as mankind, and that consequences literally came back and bit us in the ass. And then as you go on, he morphs into a protector. So, some of the movies he was the bad
Which is
guy.
not teaching humanity anything.
It's not. But as you went on, it was much different iterations of Godzilla.
Well, it's a good thing we dropped that nuclear bomb.
Turns
those
out being
people.
assholes worked out, eh?
Yeah.
Look at that.
We did just fine, ladies and gentlemen. No, but from the beginning to the protector monster to just the badass monster fighting other monsters. He is. Who as a kid didn't love dinosaurs,
Yeah.
and he was a fighting dinosaur, so to speak. So yeah, that's why my first pick is Godzilla.
Very good.
Nice.
Nick, what do you got?
Okay. Actually, I've got this one written down. I just thought of it today. So I kind of went more the
He
character
didn't
route.
do prep.
I did do prep.
What?
I did. I was worried that I was going to forget some, so I wrote things down. Kind of to pivot off of Godzilla, but more
Jeremy?
to the what? I'm sorry.
Jeremy?
Yeah.
Is Jeremy Pivot your first choice?
Yes.
What a weird choice.
I think he. No. Actually, he would fit in. He's a monster.
He is.
He is. But he is a human, so he doesn't actually. And it's pivot. But yes. No. To pivot over to not Godzilla, but King Kong, and on Skull Island, there were very creepy things in the new Skull Island King Kong movie. They were called Skull Crawlers, and they were downright fucking horrifying.
Yeah,
they were massive and fast and creepy, and I'm not sure they were like bird-like things that crawled with wings and skulls, and very, very terrifying. When I remember watching that movie for the first time, just in the back of my mind thinking, could you imagine if you saw something like that in
Shit
real
your
life?
pants.
The absolute, yes, just absolute. A color of shit you didn't know you could produce, just all over yourself. That would.
When you could watch a movie
horrifying.
like that and get scared of a monster,
Mm-hmm.
and yet Brie Larson's tits are on the same screen.
Mm-hmm.
That says something about those monsters.
I'm aroused. I'm pooping. I'm in bed. It's all happening. You know what I mean? It's just a lot of emotions, a lot of bodily functions happening. But no, so I wrote down skull crawlers just because I wasn't going to bring them up so
Blumpkin
soon.
in
But
the making.
yeah, it was just they're pretty fucking creepy. They are not of this world. Everything basically on Skull Island is not. But yeah, skull crawlers. I'm gonna go ahead and say that would be a pretty terrifying thing to encounter if they were to be real.
Sure.
Very good. Well, I'm going to go on the same line, Nick, and King Kong. King Kong was always one of my favorite movie monsters as a kid. Watching the original movie, it was just a whole different thing. Just, it was amazing at the time that was made. It was amazing technology. But just probably arguably one of the most tragic
Absolutely.
movie monster characters, being plucked, and we all know the story. He's content on his own, in his own island, his own environment, and the greed of mankind plucks him out of his home, throws him in to New York, and then obviously goes crazy and winds up getting killed. It's this very sad, tragic story, but King Kong, it's just always a cool character. The fighting dinosaurs, the whole thing. So even as a child, I had King Kong posters in my room and everything. I was always drawn to the tragic story of the great King Kong. Just
because you got to think, Kong wasn't a monster until we stole him and brought him to us.
That's exactly right. I think that's kind of the point of that whole movie, right?
Yep.
And once again, in these newer films, humanity learning nothing. He comes here and ends up being
protecting humanity somewhat on that island, right?
Reasons unbeknownst to us.
Yep, that's right.
Yes.
That's right. Dean, what else you
got? Okay, I have a few of them here. Let's go obscure. Nick, you are not going to know. At least I have two obscure ones here. I have the movie Chud from 1984. Chud.
What's the stand for again?
What's that?
What's the stand for
remember.
Again?
I can't remember what Chud stood for.
It's something human underground dweller. Something.
Yeah, they were.
Yeah.
They hid in the sewers. They, so they would come up through the manhole covers, or even it pulled a woman down through her drain at one point. But they were like alien type monster things. But it was Daniel Stern, John Hurd was the lead, and even John Goodman was a police officer in the movie.
That's right. Yes, one of his first movies.
But yeah, and Nick, why this appeals to you is bring it up to your wife. She was so fucking scared of that movie when we were little kids. Oh yeah, she was frightened of that movie.
Cannibalistic, humanoid, underground dwellers.
Yep.
There you go.
Yep, they ate people, and so Chud from 1984.
Now, they wouldn't be cannibalistic if they ate humans, because they weren't human.
Well, they were humanoid.
Yes, that's right.
Yeah, so okay. I mean, yeah.
Okay.
They never really, I don't think they explained if they were like human, or I don't know. And again,
this doesn't sound like the type of movie that has a large
it's a B movie, man. Yeah, it's right, exactly.
It doesn't strike me as a movie that went into a lot of background.
They were once human, but they've been mutated by radioactive chemical toxic waste.
Yeah, like the Toxic Avenger?
Right. But evil.
Kind of like that. Kind of like that.
Evil. Okay. Yeah. Interesting.
That's funny.
Okay.
All right. So, Nick.
Chud.
What do you got?
I'm going to go here. Gremlins. We all love the movie.
Sure.
Yep. Obviously Gizmo was pleasant, but what he spawned was actually quite terrifying. And I remember, as a little, that's right, as a little kid, being a little, once it's like, oh, cool, there's different ones. Oh, now they're chasing the family around with knives and putting things in blenders and microwaving things, and now they're it's just it got very dangerous very fast. So Gremlins, I'm gonna throw the Gremlins out there.
I like it.
Yeah. Brian,
that movie was, you go back and watch it, it's like almost shockingly violent. That movie.
It is kind of violent. Yeah.
Now let's forget about Gremlins 2, but
I saw they're making maybe a third one.
They're doing something of the Mogwai. I think it's going to be a cartoon.
Okay.
Okay.
Because the sequel has always been like in talks, and there's been scripts written, back and forth. But I think the latest thing is that it was going to be a cartoon of some sort
Okay.
about something of the Mogwai, something like that.
Okay.
Okay. Okay. My next one here, one of my favorites, it recently had a resurgence in popularity from a very, very successful movie on streaming that came out over the summer that we all watched and enjoyed, I believe. The movie Prey, starring Predator.
It's a good one.
The Predator alien race. Yeah, like I said, the original movie with Schwarzenegger and everybody.
Yep.
That still
Absolutely
is a
good.
super entertaining movie.
What do you think Goldhead Dean is wearing? He's wearing a Predator mask.
That's awesome. That's
Nice.
awesome. So again, if you're a minor pop culture nerdy sci-fi, you know what Predator is. Just it's a very interesting character.
What does it matter if somebody works in a coal mine when it doesn't make any sense? Anyways, go ahead.
Okay. Boy.
Speaking of not making sense, there's Dean's
Yep.
jokes. No, actually, that one did make sense.
Yep. Tune in next week to Convincing Idiots, where Kanye West replaces Zennial Dean.
This
on
was
the
actually
show.
a safer choice for our podcast.
Yeah, I mean, less offensive.
Yeah, right.
That's right.
It's less offensive.
Yeah, a
No,
man of
but-
God.
Yeah, I think it's a fascinating character. I love it. Just the intelligent alien chasing humans and
Mhm.
killing them for sport, and not even humans, just prey, prey in general,
Right.
animals,
Yeah.
humans, putting them up as trophies. It's how man is treating the animals on the earth is how this predator is treating humans. So it's a whole play on that as well. So looks great. The whole vibe is cool. Just Predator, love it.
Absolutely.
All right, my turn here.
Mm-hmm.
Or is that Nick's?
Cheers.
Mine. All right, I'm going to go with one of the more frightening movies from the 80s, because this movie there was no supernatural things to it. There was no killers, and this all came down to like, oh shit, this could actually happen. The movie is 1983 Stephen King original Cujo.
Oh yeah.
Because it's just a rabid dog that
Right.
won't let this mother and her son out of this car.
Terrifying.
And it was
Tragic,
super fucking
too.
scary. And there
Yeah.
were there was no aliens or toxic monsters. It was an
Right.
actual just dog. They got rabies, and it was a giant fucking dog. So
St. Bernard. Yep.
yeah. So yeah, Cujo.
Nice.
That is a good one. That whole movie was, like I said, just tragic with the dog and just the
Yep.
added tense because they're stuck in the hot car and the heat. It's just a very, very. I haven't watched a movie in a while, but that was one of his better ones for sure.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I am going to go with a lovable monster. Not so much a monster, maybe perceived as a monster, but far from it. Certainly not human, but certainly far from being a monster as well.
You're making me blush.
Not you,
Oh.
but rather Harry from Harry and the Hendersons.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
a lovable monster, Certainly not frightening, so maybe doesn't quite
Nope.
fit the mold, but definitely one worthy of a mention. Harry
It's no
stole our
American
hearts.
Sasquatch, but
No, that's right. Yes, but Harry found his way into the family and into our hearts.
that's right.
And so Harry deserves a mention. Harry and the Hendersons.
There you go. Okay.
Brian.
One of the this movie kind of changed. It was very creative horror in its time, and I know, Dean, it's one of your favorite movies of all time. I'm going to give you Jaws. How about
That's on my
that?
list
So,
here.
Yeah, absolutely. So just genius.
It
Yeah, just-
made people afraid to go to the beach, like in the water. Like
Yes.
regular people I know to this day say, oh, I saw it in 1975, and I still won't go to the beach. I mean,
What a
a
pussy.
fucking movie. But seriously, what a movie did that to somebody? A character like a fucking beast that you only saw for a couple minutes total.
Right.
Did that to human beings. So I mean that's definitely has to be on the list.
Yeah, the irony with that movie, as we know, is because they couldn't get the mechanical shark to work that well.
Right.
They had to be creative in the shooting, and it made the movie that much better because you were
100%.
seeing a lot of that movie from the perspective of the shark, right? So, yeah, just amazing stuff. And obviously, that was a movie that had the extra whole other level with the stellar score by John Williams in that movie with the theme. You as soon as you hear two notes of that, you know exactly what movie that's from.
Right.
And it gives you that sense of uneasiness even to this
Absolutely.
day. So genius movie, great character. The other movies kind of fell off the rails in my opinion, but that original movie was fantastic.
Yep. All right, I'm going since that was going to be next on my list. I'm going to go back to little obscurity here, and I'm going to go 1986 Critters.
Boy, wow.
Yeah, what it is Billy Zane, Leonardo DiCaprio, Scott Grimes.
Wow.
From 1986, Critters were these little furry aliens with like giant row of like sharp fucking teeth, and they would, as a group, like because they look cute as if you saw them until their mouths open, like, and they all attack you at one time and crawl up. It's like Brian, help me out here. What was the Star Trek with the little
the Tribbles?
Tribbles? Yes, it was like a almost like a real life, whatever of Tribbles. I mean. Yeah, just little cute furry creatures that little critters that weren't actually as nice or cuddly.
Yeah, the 80s had a lot of those like weird small creature movies. There was a lot of those.
I'm gonna I'll sneak a aforementioned here. It was called Night of the Locusts. I think I've talked on the show before about it, but Night of the Locusts was killer giant rabbits. And they filmed it by filming just regular rabbits, and they would feed them like ketchup and stuff. So like when they would do this with their mouth, and you could see their teeth, it was all red and stuff. And they would put little things in there to look like humans, but they would film it like the rabbit's coming after you. So like they film it, downward, so it looks like it's huge, and then it shows. You know what I mean? Like it was. Fucking amazing. The 80s were awesome.
Wow.
I will stay in the 80s here. 1982, one of my favorite movies to this day is The Dark Crystal. And the villains in that movie were called the Skeksis. And they were
Skeksis?
They were Skeksis, and they knew it. They were these like bird-like creatures, and they harnessed the power of the Dark Crystal to make them powerful, keep them in power, and then they would take these little podling creatures and drain them of their essence, basically just suck the life out of them and drink it to keep them young. And very honestly, for a child's at a Jim Henson and Frank Oz movie, very dark, like just very, like you said, the 80s. Like shit was just different, you know what I mean? Like,
sure.
And the labyrinth, was weird with David and the kidnapping of the child and the.
But did you know Little Podling Creature is also what Little Brian was called when he was little?
Little Podling,
Little Podling Creature.
Yeah.
Grew up to be the Podlander.
The Podlander.
Anyway, sorry.
Yes, that's right. The mighty Podlander, I would add.
I'm sorry.
Right.
Absolutely.
Yeah, but yeah, the Skeksis were. It was when I would watch it as a kid, they were like kind of cool characters, but also like definitely very creepy, very twisted, and just menacing characters. But there were times when like it did kind of creep me out a little bit. So it was just I always love those movies. Like that movie is just fantastic, and the series that they made a couple years ago for Netflix that predates the movie is fantastic as well. So
were those creatures or whatever in that?
Yep. It's
Okay.
it's all the same. It's most of the same characters, at least the Skeksis from that reign over the over the land in the Dark Crystal. But have you ever
No.
I don't know if either one of you ever seen it?
I've seen it a long time ago.
Okay.
I don't really
It came
remember
out
a
in
whole lot about it.
'82, and yeah, it's just I just loved it. It's just fantastic, really original and very well done movie. But yeah, so yeah, the Skeksis, 1982.
Very good. Okay, so I interesting. Nick has not mentioned this one yet here, but we talked about this on recent episodes as well. I know, Nick, we talked about this character on our episode we did together over the summer. We talked about our favorite Arnold Schwarzenegger movies. This character is just a force of death and destruction, the Terminator. So,
Sure.
yeah, I mean, the first movie, again, he was just a terrifying character. Just that, he kept, as we all know, we've all seen it, just relentlessly coming after you. Just so good in that movie. Yeah, so one of the best non-human, terrifying characters of all time, the Terminator, when he was the villain in the first movie. Obviously, the second one became a good guy, but that first one was very frightening. Even to this day, when I watch that movie now, it's just like you know exactly what's going to happen, and it still creates
It's unnerving.
tension. It is.
Yeah, I mean, much like Brian, I mean, no matter what you do, he just keeps coming and coming and coming, and
That's right. That's
you
right.
can't stop him.
Nope.
Nope. Not till I'm done.
That's right.
Until the job is finished.
Yep.
That's right.
All right, I have got my last one that I have here, along the lines of what you had with the Predator. I have from 1979 and forward,
Yes.
going forward and will be in the future. I have Alien, the
Yes.
Xenomorph.
Yeah. Very good.
Is last on my list. It was. I mean, what was the tagline? In space, nobody can hear you scream.
That's right. Great.
You know,
It's a
I
great
mean,
line. Great line.
It was terrifying, especially for its time. Nobody, James Cameron and whatnot, nobody saw anything like that.
Genius.
Not only you have the alien, but like take the little things like the goo, like the whatever, probably Vaseline or whatever that dripped off him. I mean, it made it like that little bit more extra, just disgusting and terrifying.
And what a creative design. That always blew me away. Like, of all the different renditions of aliens we've seen at and now maybe because the Alien movies were so, popular in pop culture that like we think of those movies, but like just an original take on what an alien might look like, something from another world, but the elongated. It's right. I mean, it's just such a cool character, and just aesthetically, just very cool to look at.
And then on top of it, they present to you that it can implant its baby in you and it will just burst out of your stomach. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, yeah. All right. So, yeah, the Xenomorph from Aliens.
Yeah.
Alien,
Fantastic.
Aliens, Alien, however you pronounce whatever movie. Alien.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Fantastic. Yep.
I'll go with another cool looking one. I've probably mentioned this on some Halloween episode. It is my favorite Halloween time movie. I just watched it last night, but the monster Pumpkinhead from Pumpkinhead is one of the coolest things I've ever fucking seen. We watched it last night. Robin watched it for the first time. Commented on how bad. She said the acting was really terrible, and I said, "Well, yes, of course it is. Of course it is. It's an '80s movie, and it's a horror movie, and of course it is. You're not here for the acting. You're here for the killing and how cool the thing looks. That's what we're doing here." But yes, every time I watch it, and with all the reboots that have been done, and all I'm like, this could be so well done. You could tweak a couple things about the storyline. Honestly, other than the way that the monster moves and its amount of engagement with the characters, you don't even have to change how it looks that much. But with better acting, it'll tweak some storyline, plot details and things like that. That could really be a great reboot. Somebody could remake that movie with a similar plot line and just tweak a few things to bring it up to speed. And I mean, I just think that could be so well done. It's just such a cool looking monster. And there again, similar to the Terminator, to where like it won't stop until it's done. Has this, whatever you call it, this ritual, this blood pact. It will not stop until it has killed all the people that it is marked to kill. It's a demon. It's an unstoppable thing. So yeah, Pumpkinhead, 1988. That was a good year. It's the year your favorite millennial joined the Earth, and it was the year Pumpkinhead was brought to the big screen.
Coincidence? I think not.
All good things happen the size of a pumpkin.
Operation Mindcrime, also released in 88. Queensryche.
Yes.
Potentially the greatest album ever made.
It's very good. Awesome. Okay. I'll name a few quickly here, just kind of set the tone for non-human horror. One is on my T-shirt I'm wearing here, Frankenstein's monster. Just the classic Universal monsters. Really, you could rattle off a bunch. So, Frankenstein's monster, the creature from the Black Lagoon. Dracula is technically as non-human. He's undead, a being. So just great stuff. Visually, back then it was a whole different thing. The special effects in the time for all those movies was kind of setting a new standard in special effects with makeup and everything else. So all those great Universal monsters were awesome.
I agree.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I was just going to touch on Frankenstein.
Please.
It again, like, I think the best monster movies in horror movies, regardless if the monsters are human or especially if they're not human. I think what all of them does, and it starts with Frankenstein, is it puts a mirror on humans and society in general and how awful we actually are. And it does it in brilliant ways. It takes that emotion of fear and fright, and when you're vulnerable like that, maybe you see us in a different light, and that's exactly what they're trying to show you. How we treated the monster in Frankenstein. Yes, he did kill the girl, but like he wasn't even supposed to be there. Like you don't play God. You don't fuck with bringing brand new life or whatever, because that's the consequence. And then once you do that, and now you're pissed and you want to destroy the being that you create. It just, the parallels of different things in society is always what these movies have done for society, for the movie-going society. And again, it started with Frankenstein.
No, you're right. It's like you say, he wasn't supposed to be there. The craziness of a person to want to create a living dead being. You're right.
Right.
And again, another one of the more tragic characters in horror movie history. Absolutely.
Yep.
Nick, do you have any other ones?
I have one final one, and I've been saving this one for last because it is, in fact, it's not scary, but it is definitely the most dastardly plan foiling, just in the way. I mean, it's probably the worst monster in any movie. Okay, I'm gonna have to go with Ted the Reindeer from Jingle All the Way. Okay, so here's Howard Langston. He's in the final phase of his plan to break into his neighbor's house and finally get this fucking Turbo Man for Jamie that he's been, mind you, all over town looking for. And there's this fucking reindeer
committing crimes for.
Yeah, well, it was gonna go off without a hitch. You know what I mean? It was gonna be fine.
Felonies. I mean, if we're being specific, a lot of felonies.
That's right. Should be
Okay,
in jail.
minor details.
Yes.
Okay, minor details. This is the minutia. Okay, but at the end of the day, quick in, quick out. Get one present, steal it from the other kid, the neighbor kid, take it home, right? And here comes this fucking reindeer, causes this big old scuffle with poor Howard Langston, Arnold Schwarzenegger, in the middle of the living room, okay? Where things are falling over, the trees falling over, and then the statue of the three wise men, Balthazar's head's in the fireplace, he kicks it out the window. I mean, now we're talking all kinds of damage to the property of the neighbors, okay? All due to fucking Ted the goddamn reindeer, okay? When Howard Langston was just trying to get a toy for his son. So Ted the reindeer from Jingle All the Way is the worst monster. He is non-human as he is a reindeer, and therefore he fits the criteria. And that is my final and correct submission.
Has anybody ever determined or figured out how you're going to be Ted Langston and have the Austrian accent? Like,
It's Howard Langston.
okay.
Ted is the
So-
name of the neighbor and the reindeer.
Oh, okay, so Howard or Langston both are not Austrian sounding names. So, like, maybe he's the monster. Maybe, like, he killed somebody and stole their identity.
How do you know that he was not adopted?
Hmm.
Simple.
Why does he still have the accent?
I don't know. Maybe he was adopted later in life.
What, like 25?
I will not have you questioning the good nature of Arnold Schwarzenegger's character, Howard Langston, who was just trying to be a good father. Last minute, albeit, but
He was
trying
not
to
a
do
good
right
father.
by his son. He was a
No.
good father.
He felt guilty for being in a shitty movie, first of all. But other than that,
Oh, I'm sorry that, he was too busy to go buy a Turbo Man because he was busy selling mattresses, providing the beautiful house in the wonderful neighborhood for his family.
well, you got to cover up for your whatever spying he was doing for other governments.
That's right. That's right. All right. So these, you touched on this a little bit too, Dean, as far as, some of the tones and themes that run through these type of movies here. Do you find yourself, are these movies completely different feel and vibe than a horror movie that has human characters? Do you
Yes.
find yourself rooting more for the non-human characters
For the
versus-
most part, yeah, I would say.
Yeah. Okay. So, like, how are they different? I mean, and why do you maybe feel more empathy toward the non-human character?
Because a lot of the times it's misunderstood, or it's not their fault that they're put in the situation. I'm not, they end up killing people and doing all this, but a lot of the times, like, okay, take for Chud, for example. These were humans that got for whatever radioactive shit that we were dumping in the system. Again, it was a mirror shown on society about the pollution that we're putting into this earth and down in the sewers and stuff. That's what that movie was. So, all of these characters, not all of them, but the majority of them, it was brought upon them by no means of their own.
Mhm.
So I think in that sense, it gives you that little bit of, you feel bad for them in a sense. Of course, they do bad things and kill people and eat people and stuff. That's not cool. I don't approve of that. But you do have that sympathy because like I said, a lot of the time, it's not on their own accord.
Right. Nick, what do you think?
Yeah, I agree. Because, like you said, they're typically these other beings plunged into a human world, a human situation in which they don't understand. And whatever happens after that is just kind of, why are you fucking with it in the first place? You know what I
Right.
mean?
And we're
Like-
confusing as fuck.
Yeah, right. So, I agree. And, I don't know if that's because we don't typically, we don't tend to cut humans as much slack, maybe because we are humans and we've met a lot of humans and we assume that a lot of them are just shitty.
Right.
So
Oh, you're just a shitty human. Okay, fuck you.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. But yeah, typically, like you said, it's like if it's a monster kind of situation, they're just kind of rolling with the punches. They're being plunged into a situation that they didn't ask for, that is foreign to them, and yeah, things are gonna kind of spiral out of control probably.
Like
Yeah, I'm
if
with
you
you
run
guys.
up to
Go ahead, sorry.
you run up to a stray dog and bite it, and it bites you back, you can't blame the dog.
Right.
Right,
Yeah, I'm
Brian?
with you guys in a sense of all the horror movies that have human characters as the villain. I mean, it's fun to watch if you're watching Jason go on, killing teenagers and all that. I mean, it's entertaining in that respect, but you're not necessarily rooting for Jason per
Teenagers.
se.
Get them! I fucking hate teenagers. Get them!
But these movies, if like you said, if it stars a character that is taken out of its element, like Kong or something, I always find myself rooting for Godzilla or rooting for King Kong versus the humans in these type of movies here. So,
and then with those Jason movies and stuff, these teenagers, I mean, they're running from him. They could get away so much easier if only they had the information that I'm about to give you listening at home right now or wherever you may be.
That's right.
You too could get away from a serial killer much quicker and much faster than that by the power of your own 2 feet, but with rather the power of electricity.
Yes.
And our friends at RPM Bike Shop can introduce you to just such a convenient device. That's right, an electric bike might be the way for you to outrun your local serial killer. Just be sure to go to Facebook and search RPM Bike Shop. They are located conveniently right near here, Carrollton, Ohio. So give them a call at 330-808-7792. You can also go to their website. That's rpmbikeshop.com. And there you can see pictures of their wonderful products, their electric bikes that they have to offer. So be sure to stop on by, give them a call, let them know the Convincing Idiots told you it's the best way to escape a serial killer. RPM Bike Shop.
I so want to be privy to that conversation with somebody that say, I was told that this is the best way to escape serial killers. Like, what? So,
That's right. And because we're short on time, I'm not going to try to work in any creative segues whatsoever.
Lazy.
That's right.
No, but
Go ahead.
Real quick before we wrap up, Brian, I did want to say, when all of us are faced with these killers and stuff, it does the best thing we can do. All I know is it would drive me to drink. How about you guys?
Stiff drink would help me handle the
Yes.
stress.
That's
Absolutely.
right. There you go. There's a nice word.
And sometimes when I am stressed, I'm like, oh, where's the alcohol? Where's the alcohol?
That's
It's
right.
like if it was all kept in one convenient location that
That's
maybe I
right.
had somewhere
It
to
would be
store it, I could be
helpful.
like, there's the alcohol. I must go to, location X to get my alcohol.
Only if there was one.
If only.
I think I know where you guys are going with this.
Oh.
Yes.
Do you?
So go check out our. Yes, I do. Go check out our sponsor, Golden Heart Tattoos. Creative. These guys are terrific. They've done work
They will
on all of
tattoo
us here.
liquor bottles on you.
Yeah.
That's exactly correct. So give them a call in the Norton, Ohio area, from the Northeast Ohio area, 234-706-2982. Their website, goldenhearttattoos.com. They're also on Facebook. Go check them out. Schedule your appointment. Get yourself some ink in 2022 before it's too late, before the year runs out. And I'm only joking.
It's
I know
scary how late in the year it's becoming.
That's right. It's
Get it
very
before the
scary.
chud gets you.
That's right. But I know, just kidding here. So I know the Golden Heart Tattoos, so we appreciate their sponsorship. And going back to your drinking and where you can find your bottles and all that stuff, you might find your bottles in a floating liquor cabinet built, quality woodwork, handcrafted by the Bellmark Amazon store. Go look them up on Amazon. Specialize in floating liquor cabinets, floating nightstands, and countertop compost bins. Again, these look beautiful, affordable, delivered right through the Amazon delivery service. Go look them up. And, the holidays are coming up. It'd be a great Christmas gift for somebody out there as well.
Absolutely.
So go check them out. Bellmark Amazon store. Well, gentlemen, we've come to an end of another episode here. Nick, I have no idea how you want to do the outro today, but Dean, do you have any suggestions for young Nick as far as outro, sir?
Yeah. Since this is the end of spooky season, it is, if you're listening to on the day this drops, it is Halloween.
Yes, it is.
Nikolai,
Yes.
I would like you to do the outro as if you're doing the narration for a scary movie trailer.
Good.
Okay. Coming to your ear holes this fall. This Monday, in fact. It's Halloween.
Today.
What better way to find your favorite idiots on the internet than by going to a link tree? That's right. You can find your way to Convincing Idiots Linktree by finding look under the covers, look under the bed, check the closet, or go to Google and type in Convincing Idiots Linktree, Linkree. There you will find Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok. I was going to say Snapchat, but that's not one of them. And so much more beyond your wildest fears. You can also find that information by going to our website, convincingidiots.wordpress.com. So, for this episode of Convincing Idiots, I have been a millennial, Nick.
And I am Zenial Dean.
And I am Gen X Brian.
Have we convinced you that the best way to outrun your local serial killer is to cozy up to an episode of Convincing Idiots? They surely won't follow you to listen to one themselves. Don't be scared, it's just a voice. It's fine.
Everybody, Gen X Brian with Millennial Nick and Zennial Dean. We need more people besides Nick's mom watching us. Give us a like and subscribe. Gen X Brian here with Millennial Nick. And is that a thumb? No, it's Zennial Dean. This week on Convincing Idiots, we bring you...
Is that a thumb?
Darn it.
You fucked it up.
I was trying so hard.